guys, this is Matt with another Minecraft video. I'm here with Modmaster, one of the admins on mnb.net, and we are about to find out what it's like being an admin of one of the largest faction servers and overall Minecraft servers on the planet. So how's it going, Modmaster?
Good. How are you?
Very good. So I got to start with some basic questions. And by the way, I've got a fair number of questions that people have asked me to ask you. So
Okay.
those will be coming down the pipe. So, but first off, how long have you been playing Minecraft?
I started playing Minecraft, I think, later mid 2010.
2010. That's
Yeah.
crazy. So over 4 years then.
Yeah, I started playing, I think, like beta 1.2. Like it was very, very early beta. I know it was beta 1.2. I'm
Wow.
not sure exactly when. It was sometime like late 2010. I'm
Late
sure.
2010. So I got to ask, your name, Modmaster. Now, in Minecraft, the Minecraft world, mod can mean one of two things. It can mean like modification, like or it can mean moderator. And I've just always assumed that you were the master of the mods, like the moderators. Is that where that name came from?
No, that it is not. It is actually not that. So when I first started playing Minecraft, I didn't actually buy an account. I used like some kind of free thing online. Um, and I just played single player by myself. And one of the things I wanted to try out were mods. And I basically just became addicted to modding. I just modded like crazy. I'd have like 40 mods at once. So when I finally wanted to make my account, I named myself Modmaster because
That's awesome. I see. I've always wondered that because it felt like a weird, like that wouldn't be like your first account. Would be like I'm gonna have an account. I'm gonna be the master of all these moderators because even though you have evolved into that, it's
yeah, the mod stands for modification. So
modification. So that's really
yeah.
cool. I did not know that. That's awesome. And so, what kind of mods were you building back in the day?
I remember the first one I ever got was Mo Creatures, which is a very old mod.
Uh huh.
Um, I played mods like Millionaire, uh, Castle Defenders, Mine Colony. Love Mine Colony.
Mine Colony. Okay, that's cool.
Um, yeah, I mean, I can't remember all of them, but I would get just every mod I possibly could. I
Cool.
think I think the most I had was like 30 something, like maybe 35 around there.
Wow. And did they cause lag?
Not really. I mean, back then my computer was garbage, so
Yeah.
even without mods, my game would lag.
All right. So how did you find M&B? What's your history with M&B? I'm curious.
So I used to play faction servers with a group of friends. Some of them I went to school with, others were just online friends. And we would go from faction server to faction server. We only played on small servers, not really big servers. And we would, every time we got raided, we basically just go to a different server, which
Uh-huh.
is, what a lot of people do sometimes. So yeah, just kind of rage quit and move on to the next server. So eventually we kind of got tired of always getting raided. Like, we would build we had built a nice base and then it would get destroyed. Now we weren't like, back long ago, this long ago, there weren't like, no one really made these like crazy big faction bases. Like you just made a hole in the wall and there was your base. So
Right.
like, we didn't no one really knew about that stuff, at least not on small faction servers.
Yeah.
Um, so we wanted to try something different. No more getting raided all the time. We wanted to find a non-griefing server, and
Right.
I wasn't the one who found M&B. I think it may have been iRules or Chain or Tom. There were two people, by the way, who I would do this with. Yeah, I think it was one of them, but we had just found it online at some point, and it was a townie server.
Uh-huh.
At the time, it was just townie. It was a small server. I'm like, all right, let's try this out. And well, we liked it.
So
It
how
was a
long ago
great
was
server.
that?
There was no. I joined. I know the exact date. It was April 15th, 2012.
You're another one who knows the exact date.
I know it. The reason. So the reason I know it is back then you used to be able to see like what day you logged in. There
Right.
was a townie command to see what day you logged in. So it just
That's funny.
I
So
just kind of
April
remember
5th,
it.
the Ides of April, back on 2012, you joined M&B as a player, right?
Yeah, and I joined like a couple days after iRules 12 and Tornado Tom 50, who are both other admins
Uh-huh.
on the server.
Yeah, how funny. And
I
so
joined a little bit later than them. I can't remember why. but it was like just like a couple days after.
I see. And so, what was your experience then with the staff at M&B? How did you end up becoming staff?
Um, well, what happened? Okay, so I was into the server for a couple months, and then I started to get a little bit inactive. I'd get on every now and then, but I wasn't too active. The same thing with my other friends, because we liked Townie, but it got a little boring because there was just eventually not much to do. So we started to go and play some faction servers again. But iRules and Tornado Tom did not do so. They stayed on M&B, which is part of the reason why they're admins right now. They ended up getting mod like sometime over the summer, I think.
Mhm.
And so yeah, they got mod way before me, like, in the summer of 2012. And I continued to be inactive. And then eventually I kind of got bored of factions again because, the group I was playing with kind of broke up. And, I didn't really have much to do. So I was like, you know what? Let's go back to MMB. I got some friends on there that are mods.
Uh huh.
Sure, it would be great. So Tornado Tom, when I came back, Tornado Tom was like, you know what? We should try and create a faction server. So he wanted to make an MMB factions. Now at this time, there was creative. It was survival and creative. They were on like the same server. It was like two different worlds.
Uh huh.
So there were two different servers. And Tornado Tom, because he remembered what we used to do, he really wanted to make a faction server. So he allowed me and a few of my friends to help build the server. Now, these days, the servers we build are all by the build team.
Right.
But the very first faction server we made was made by the mods, which is
Really?
a horrible idea. But yeah, you weren't in on the first faction server, but it was basically just like a giant square with houses inside of it. It was the dumbest looking thing. It's just ugh,
As
so bad.
opposed to like the beauty. So right now, for those watching this, we are outside of spawn, in an area that is usually inaccessible to players. And since I've been made a mod and was given fly on occasion, I could fly out here and see what it is. So we decided to have this take place. So I might walk around here and kind of give a tour of this area outside of spawn here on the faction server while we chat. So you made the very first faction server. So there was no
But I
faction
helped
server
make it.
on
I
M.
mainly did. I didn't really make any houses. I think I may have made one, but the main thing I did was the terraforming, like around the sides. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty simple. There really wasn't that much to the spawn. Um,
Interesting.
yeah. Anyway, so after we finished it, now it was on. It was not on like you couldn't do slash server factions. It was on a totally different IP. Like the plan originally was a completely separate server.
Uh huh.
So this completely separate server was going to have different staff, and Brian decided that he would give me as well as my friends that helped admin on the server. So
Oh,
weird
interesting.
thing, really weird thing. When I first became staff, which was like late January, I started as an admin. Started as an admin on factions.
You
So
started as an admin, so you worked
yeah,
your way up from player to admin by building the server.
essentially, yeah, something like that. But it was because he wanted separate staff. Well, that
Right.
was the plan. It
Yeah.
didn't end up being that way, obviously, but
Yeah.
um,
Why is
so
God of
yeah,
the
I
Seas Army
started
right
out
here?
as being an admin on the server. Now I wasn't like the head of factions or anything. That was Tornado Tom. He was like
Uh-huh.
basically the uh the leader of this factions product. But yeah, that is when I first became staff. I was not a mod on the other servers. Only admin on factions. And what's funny is I actually had more commands back then than I do now.
Oh,
So I
really?
could actually do more when I first became staff than I can now.
That's hilarious. Is that because Pendar eventually got rid of like the nuke command and some of the really dangerous ones that
Um,
blow stuff
well,
up?
what happened with that is he eventually like integrated all the servers and
Right.
permissions changed
I
quite
see.
a lot.
So
Yeah, so there's actually a rumor. I want to say this to everybody that I skipped a rank. So eventually I did get junior mod. I got junior mod on realms like a couple of months after I got admin on factions. So, but
Okay.
yeah, I did get junior mod on the other servers, but it was not my first. It was not my first staff rank on the server.
I see.
And so there are rumors that I skipped mod, that I was never a mod. I skipped straight to senior mod, and that's true. I never was a mod. I've never been a mod before. I like a normal mod.
Right.
And what happened was, eventually, as it is right now, factions had its ranks like integrated with the rest of the server. So basically, I went from admin to junior mod, op junior mod. I was an opt junior mod. It was
You're a
pretty
junior
awesome.
mod with up. That's just wrong. But
Yeah, and it wasn't too great because I kind of just got demoted for no reason. I mean, it wasn't exactly a demotion, but I just like lost my rank
right.
for no reason. Um, and then another thing that happened around that time was, so Brian had announced a survival reset. It was going to be the first time we've reset a server, and he announced it a little early. Like, when you announce a server reset, people are like, okay, well, anything I do is going to get deleted. So
Right.
why would I play on this server? So what they did was they went to factions. So suddenly, survival just turns into like nothing. Like there's no one playing it anymore, and faction starts to become popular. And when I say popular, I mean like 20 players max. That was real. That was really high back then.
Right.
Um, so I can't really explain. I'm not really allowed to say why, but Brian had to kind of take a leave of absence from the server for a couple weeks
Hmm?
because of some personal issues. I'm not going to get into detail why. And he kind of wanted, he needed people to run each server. So iRules would look after survival, and he needed someone for factions. And op junior mods tend to not be great leaders. They're usually more of the muters, not
Yeah.
really leaders. So to kind of make up for the admin loss, Brian skipped me from mod, and I went straight to senior mod.
I see. So how long were you then? So what were the time periods? I'm just curious because people like to know how long it took before a player became um, a staff member, a junior mod, and then how long from there to.
Well, I mean, I joined the server April 2012, and I got my first staff rank late January. So what is that like?
Yeah, so it's like 8 months or something like that.
Yeah, 8 months, something like that. I got in junior mod. I think it was like 2 months after. So that I think it was like early March actually. So it was like a month and a half. And then I ended up going, and then losing admin and gaining senior mod was like, I want to say June. I can't exactly remember. No, I think it was later. I think it was more like July or August.
So a few months in between.
Yeah.
Cool.
I can't remember. It was like late summer, early school year. I can't remember exactly.
So we've gotten you up to senior mod, and then how did you end up becoming admin
That
over
happened like a
Realms?
year later. It was just basically, well, what started to happen was, so Brian used to, believe it or not, this is pretty amazing for any mods that are watching this, but Brian used to every Friday night creates a call, and we would do a drop party on survival. Just kind of like it, just exactly like how I do actually, except he would be the one that starts the call, and we would all have a call and talk for the night and do the drop party on survival. Eventually, I started doing it for factions. And unfortunately, as we know, Brian no longer does the drop party on survival, but I continue to do it on factions.
Interesting. So
But
when
yeah,
did
now Brian kind of just stopped talking to all the staff, and the only people who really talked to were me, iRules, and Tornado Tom.
uh
And it just kind of came down to, like, when we make new servers, it would just be us that would do it together.
right,
And eventually it was like, you know what, we're really not, like, we really don't serve the same purpose as senior mods. Like, we don't really moderate. We work on servers and stuff.
right,
So it's just like, so we basically just told Brian, like, just make an admin rank because we're not mods.
right,
we're,
right,
we're really just admins without the admin prefix. So he's just like,
right.
okay, and he did it. And we don't actually have permissions. Um, like, on some servers I'll be opt, but we really don't have permissions. It's more of just like a prefix just to kind of show what we do rather than modding, which we don't do too much.
Right. So you've eventually badgered. It sounds like you badgered Brian, aka Pendar2, into giving you an admin prefix, and
Yeah,
you
pretty
are
close.
opt on a couple servers, and you've been that way. So how long have you played that role?
How long have I been an admin?
Yeah.
Um, I think it's been like a year or a little more than a year. I can't remember.
So a year is now, and you're gunning for owner. That's what people always talk about. But okay, cool. Now the staff has grown tremendously. How many staff are on the server now?
Ooh, quite a lot. I don't know exactly how many. It's probably around like 40 if you include the creative stuff.
Wow. So once there began to be enough staff that was overwhelming, then Brian kind of checked out from ongoing communication, and it sounds like he's created a hierarchical structure of management in a way, where he manages the admins, or at least you, and then you're the guy I see most managing the other staff. That
Yeah, I mean, I usually when we do promotions, I mean, I don't like decide on who gets promoted myself. The senior mods will vote on who, will become a junior mod, who will get promoted. But usually like I'll kind of initiate the conversation. Like I'll say, I think these people would be good candidates. I'll say why I think so, and I'll ask if anyone else has any suggestions, and then we'll just vote on it. But
okay?
I don't I try to make it democratic among the mods. Like my vote doesn't count for like 10.
I see.
I have just as much say as the other senior mods. But I'm the one that will promote them or
Right.
uh,
So the
bring.
rumors that you require all staff to refer to you as Masta are unfounded. Is that
No, I mean the staff call me by my names, my real name sometimes.
so I don't have to go Masta. Can I do this, Masta? Okay. Um, cool. Well, this has been really neat. I'm just, by the way, I'm just curious where we are right now. There's this big dirt block, and I can see God of the Seas
No,
Army in here. What is
I just
this?
kind of put random crap in here. This is what's in here.
Why
Oh,
is there a player in here?
this is a fun room. I don't even know what is God doing. Oh, he's duping cobblestone. That's great.
Is he?
I'm not duping it. He's using the there's like this bug with UL where if you use it on the ground, it gives you like an extra one. But it doesn't matter. They have unlimited.
They all have
Yeah, this
UL.
is just some random room I
This
made
is
up.
something random.
And then there's this room. This is the other dirt block. Sometimes when people are arguing, instead of muting them, I'll just put them in here.
Welcome to the Love Bonding Hut. Take some time to relax and bond with your new friend. This is awesome. This is like it's like a happy jail, is what this
Yeah,
is. It's a
they
pleasant
can
jail.
leave. I should make it so that they can't leave. Yeah, I should actually just set a jail in here.
That would be cool. This would be the flower jail. I should totally
This
make
jail
this a
can only be used if two people that are arguing are put in it, though.
that's
That would
awesome.
have to be the rule.
Yep, that's cool. So so there's so much going on with M&B right now. How are you? I mean, how much of your time do you end up devoting to being an admin for the server?
It depends. I mean, sometimes I won't get on for too long. Like, if we're resetting a server or making a new server, I could spend like all day sometimes doing stuff.
Uh huh.
Like I remember for when we made the prison server, I spent like 5 hours, at least 5 hours alone just setting up the economy.
Uh huh.
Forget about everything else. I know when we reset this faction server, I literally spent like 10 hours just one day just working on the server.
Wow.
Um See, I mean it could just totally vary. I could spend all day or I could just spend like 5 minutes.
Crazy. So, what's your favorite part about being an admin?
Um hmm. Favorite part.
Favorite? I know it's a tough question.
Uh
we can start with this. What do you hate most about being an admin question?
What do I
If
hate?
that's so much easier to answer.
Well, I can tell you what I hate most. What I hate most is when I get constantly spam like, "Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this?" When I can't.
Right.
Because I can't give people ranks. I can't
Uh huh.
upload plugins, change plugins.
Yeah.
I mean, what I do sometimes is I'll get a plugin and tell Brian to put it, or I'll change the configuration and tell Brian to upload it, or tell
Right.
Brian to change a permission, but I can't do any of it myself. And it's like, when people just constantly spam me, I'm like, I can't do it no matter how many times you spam me. It's not going to change the fact that I cannot do anything.
So
Like,
that's that.
I really, really don't have too much over, like a senior mod.
So that's that stress where you have the authority, or at least the perception of authority, or I should say the responsibility of that perception of responsibility without the authority to act on
Yeah.
it. So
I mean, the
people
admin
expect
rank
you to be
is
able to do
essentially,
something and you can't.
I essentially get a whole new set of responsibilities, but with no extra powers.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, I'm gonna harass you right now. Second, can you TP me out of this box? Um,
Oh. I forgot I left you in
That's okay. No, that's okay. I was enjoying the flowers. Sometimes you got to stop and smell the flowers. So what the heck is this over here? I don't think I've ever seen this.
Oh, okay. So this was supposed to be a new PvP arena. This is actually warp fishing, though.
It's
Here,
this is warp fishing. Oh, okay.
yeah, here, let me get you inside.
Oh,
So
thank
this
you.
was supposed to be a PvP arena,
Oh,
but the
okay. I
problem I
recognize it
had
now.
was like, so the portal's over here, like at the top. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, you TP here, and now I have to go all the way over here. I can't even jump down over there.
Uh
I
huh.
have to go like all the way around here just to
Just to get in the
jump
arena.
to the PvP arena.
Yeah.
So it, I wasn't really a fan of that. I would prefer one where like I like the current one because you just jump right down. You don't have to like go on a journey
Yeah.
to get
Well, now I
into
totally get these the
developing
iron
places.
bars around here. Why you'd have them if they were potentially for a
Yeah,
an
plus
arena.
this arena is just a weird shape.
Uh huh.
So it would be difficult to like zone it and prevent people from well, I mean I could easily prevent people from going in, but people
Right.
would still try and get in, they get stuck and complain.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
I just prefer the old one. The structure of it is just much nicer. But Tornado Tom made very good use of it and created warp fishing.
Yeah, this is cool. I occasionally will do deals like people sometimes look for a quiet, safe place to do a deal, and I think warp fishing is one of those
Yeah,
places.
this is a good place for that.
Warp giveaways as well. But so here's the question that I ask everybody. I'm gonna ask this to you as well. How abusive are you?
Um, I can be pretty abusive. Uh, I definitely have a favorite command that's slash kill.
Slash kill.
I utilize that command very often.
Really?
Yeah, see the way you see when a mod is bad, instead of banning them, I just kill them.
I see. So you're the one you abuse mods then is really what it comes
Oh
down
yeah,
to.
constantly killing people. I even kill myself every Friday.
Do you?
As many people go to the drop right now. Yeah, you load up my inventory with stuff and one piece of bedrock, and I just kill myself above everybody.
And let your body and everything else just rain down.
Yep.
That's awesome. So kill's your favorite command. Um, that's cool. I still prefer lightning, but that's
I do like my lightning.
lightning is so much fun. And the fact it can set stuff on fire and take out tons of
Yeah,
mobs.
the only thing I like better than lightning is fireballs.
Yeah,
But
fireballs are cool too. But well, that's cool. Oh, and there we go. We can see him
yeah.
in action. So I had one question that was specific for you, and why is YOLO a banned term?
Oh yeah, I did. I told someone I would explain that. Okay, so there used to be this moderator named Vivica570. Some people might remember her. She was obsessed with the word YOLO. Like she would just say it in every other sentence. Everything was YOLO this, YOLO that. And the first faction that was created on the server was YOLO Swag 69. So, that was her faction, YOLO Swag 69. And Brian was just like, you know, just to kind of make fun of her and
Uh-huh.
to annoy her, he blocked YOLO because now we couldn't make YOLO Swag 69. We couldn't join YOLO Swag 69. So the faction existed, but no one could join it because you couldn't type F join YOLO Swag 69.
That's awesome.
So he blocked it, and
A
now
booze.
say YOLO
So,
anymore.
that's
And
so
he's
you
never unblocked it. I mean, this was like years ago. He just
so
didn't unblock it.
that is absolutely awesome. Um, when you were a player, did you ever have trouble with the staff? Did you ever get muted or banned?
No, I never got any fences.
So if we were to look at your BM info right now, what would we see?
I mean, I'm probably see like I don't know if people have like tried that warning thing on me. Probably have
Oh,
some kind of.
oh,
I think
Warren.
I have like one ban because a mod wanted to see if he can ban me.
That's awesome.
And apparently he could because he did.
That that's hilarious. That's hilarious. How many abuse threads have you had on the forums? I mean, have you had abuse threads?
I can't remember ever having one. I'm sure I've had one at some point. I mean, I've been staff
Uh,
for a while, but I can't remember any specific thing that I did.
okay. Here's a question I ask everybody, and I think a lot of people watching this series are interested in this. What do you tell people when they ask you how they can become staff or how they can become a mod? What's your answer?
Um, Sometimes well, that depends. It depends on just what I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll say that you can't.
None for you? Yes.
Sometimes I'll give them a very special YouTube video, which is an extensive guide on how to become staff.
Is there? I'll have to link to that.
It's let's see if I can find it. I must have it somewhere.
Is there an extent? That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't have it on my bookmark. But yeah, it's not actually how you become staff. It's just a joke video.
Just some random thing. Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I never. That's really all I say.
Yeah.
Or by I'll say by not asking. That's another thing. That's
By
not
not asking.
true.
So when you were made junior mod, had you asked? I mean, how many times had you asked to be made junior mod back in the day before?
I never asked to be.
You never asked. So just like everyone else that I've talked to, you did not ask. So that's
Yeah, I think the only time I did ask was for creative, which had separate ranks back then. It still does now. I think I had asked because so what happened was when the creative server was made, it would have separate staff, but the current staff would get mod on there as well. So, I had a little bit of a different staff situation because,
uh,
I was admin on faction. So I was like, I had asked if that included me, and it did, and they gave it to my creative. So I guess that kind of counts as asking for staff.
I see. Um, so I have just a personal question for you right now. If I were to type right now in chat that Modmaster and I are doing an interview at Warp Fishing, how many people you think would show up within 30 seconds?
Let's see how many are on. There's only 60. Not that many.
Not that
I
many.
only say like 5.
So I almost want to give that a test just to see what happens. I've been asked to ask you this: what is there any prize at the end of parkour at spawn for anyone who completes
That's no.
it? No, it's just there to distract people. So
I think there might be a congratulations sign, but that's about it.
nice. Um, and then I've been asked to ask this question as well. When is factions going to be reset? People are worried about it or anticipating. I don't even know.
Yeah, there's been a lot of unfortunate things that have been going on with factions, with the whole lag issue. I mean, obviously it's now been fixed, and now we just got to decide how we can, get get something either MCMMO back or something like MCMMO.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you think the chances of
but in
getting
terms of
MCMMO
like a
back?
full reset, I really don't want to do that anytime soon because this faction server came out like what, October, no, November, something like that. It's not new, but it's not old enough to think about a reset.
Yeah.
So I would say not anytime soon.
I tried. I did my little experiments.
Oh,
Here they start.
we
Here they
already got
come.
someone here. Oh, yeah, we got some people coming.
So how funny. What people will do to be on a little YouTube channel. But all right. So cool. Well, what do you think my chances are of getting Brian to sit down for something like this?
Um, hmm, -1%.
-1%. Oh, okay. Well, I thought I'd ask, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
he's not even gonna do it.
He's not
I mean,
gonna
he
do it.
literally doesn't talk to anyone but like the admins. He doesn't
Yeah.
even talk to like the senior mods.
Yeah. All right. It was worth a shot. But maybe I can have you give it to him. Maybe would how about you do an interview of Brian, huh?
Oh, he's not gonna do
Not gonna do that?
that.
No. Oh man. So I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Okay. Well, let's see. Any stories you'd care to share from your time as being a mod or admin?
I do have some fun stories. So let me tell you my donation story.
Okay.
That's a very fun one. So the first donor rank I bought was iron. This was before I got staff of any
Uh-huh.
kind. Um, then I bought. I think had upgraded to diamond because survival diamond gets fly, and fly is an important rank. Oh, actually, before I continue with this, let me just tell you why I got fly.
All right.
So on the townie server, my friends had all made a town. We made a town together, and I had a house that was like a little beach house. It wasn't isolated, but it was not like in the main area. And we had some rules in the town. And for fun, one of my friends made a rule: cover Jason's house every Friday. So every Friday, they would all cover my house in dirt. So I would log
Nice.
on, and if I was outside, I couldn't get inside. And if I was inside, I couldn't get out because there was just dirt
It's,
everywhere.
it's dirt everywhere.
So one day I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. No more. I'm going to protect with a diamond protection stone, which is the biggest protection stone on survival. So I put a protection stone and, protects this huge area. And my friends were like, whoa, what's going on? You can't do that. How are we going to cover your house? Okay. I thought it was pretty safe at this point.
Yeah.
So the next Friday comes, I log in, and they have covered the perimeter of my protection zone with
The
dirt.
entire
I
thing.
looked like I was in a mini cave. Like, so it was on like a little beach, and I get on, and it's like dark. Like, is it night? Like, no, I'm in this giant block of dirt. Now the protection area is huge. It's like 60 by 60 or something. So they just spent the whole time. Now, one of my friends had diamond, so he was able to fly, up high and just place it there. And I'm like, how on earth am I ever going to get this down? And like, they're gonna do this every week.
Right.
Like, there's just no way I could get rid of this dirt. So I was just like, you know what? I'll buy a diamond, and now I can fly, and I can just fly up there and get rid of the dirt with my.
That's an awesome story.
That's why I
So
bought fly.
so you bought Fly because people abused you, and
Yes.
that
Yeah,
is
and the mods would of course not do anything because it was
no.
an official rule.
Yep.
It was also ceremonial apparently to cover my house.
Ceremonial. They probably participated. They're probably like, well, that's cool. Um,
Um, but yeah, and then I had bought. Now here comes the fun part. So eventually I bought emeralds because that's just another $10.
right.
So I buy emeralds and I go on the server. I'm Overlord. I was over. I bought emeralds
And
and
you
I
got
somehow got over. And
Overlord.
I was like, how could this have happened? Like I checked, my PayPal. Like no, I definitely only paid $10, but somehow I was Overlord. And I obviously was gonna tell Brian, but I was like, you know what? I'll tell
I'll
him,
tell him
but
later.
yeah, I'll just tell him a little later. Like, yeah, let's just check this out. So I became so into it. I loved it. Like you had you could spawn zombies. You had slash ender chest. You
Yep.
um, could give yourself XP. I had all these awesome commands,
Yep.
and I loved them. And eventually Brian found out. What ended up happening was back then ranks were an automatic. He would promote them manually, and apparently there were like a lot of other people who bought Overlord, and he got me mixed up. So
Oh, how
he
funny.
reverted me back to Emerald. But I was like, you know what? I can't do this. Like I basically got like drunk on the commands of Overlord.
Right.
So I bought it.
That's
Actually, I didn't buy
awesome.
Overlord. I bought Titan. But I bought Overlord eventually.
Yeah.
But I bought Titan because it had most of the commands minus the /XP command.
Uh-huh.
So I wouldn't have bought Titan if it weren't for the getting Overlord. Like Emerald was going to be like the end. I was
Yep.
pretty much planning on that being the last rank I'd buy. But I had like Overlord for like 2 days, and I just loved it too much to say goodbye to it.
So that's fun. I
I
have a
did, however, manage to smuggle one special thing. Overlord used to have Power Tool, and the way Power Tool works is once you have a Power Tool, you keep it. So even though I lost the ability to give myself Power Tools, I still was able to
Oh.
keep the ones I currently had.
Oh.
So I did have a little bit of Overlord with me
You
when I
kept a
got
little bit of
into it.
Overlord. That's funny. So did you ever donate to Overlord or you
I
or
did. I ended up donating sometime like when I was a senior mod.
yeah,
I actually just donated just to donate. Like I
right.
didn't actually gain any commands from it.
Yep. Yeah.
So that was just for the sake of donating.
So I have to confess that I've always played without any donor ranks. And on other servers I've actually donated to them and not taken the ranks. Um,
Really? Oh.
yeah, just because I like to play. I don't know. I think I'm a hardcore player or something. I don't know. But what some of my faction mates managed uh, to donate for me, and then boosted me up to I don't know one rank at a time. Right now, I think I'm elite or something like that. And I have to admit, I'm like, wow, these homes are kind of nice, on factions. So
Yeah, the commands are pretty nice.
yeah, so I have to admit, I've weakened. It's weakened my resolve on that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, Overlord used to be so overpowered on survival though.
yeah,
I mean, I mean, you actually still can't give yourself unlimited XP, but like Power Tool just got ridiculous. Like I could Power Tool a zombie and just spawn as many zombies as I wanted to.
wow,
As the server grew, we had to get rid of that command because people would just lag the server with endless amounts of zombies.
yeah,
Like they would put them in spawn, and just every time someone would go, they would die.
that's awesome.
So,
So so how many of the other staff members do you know in real life?
I don't know any of the staff members in real life. The friends I had in real life that had helped me with factions kind of just stopped playing. Like they didn't go down the same path as me. They kind of became inactive and stopped playing. What's
Yeah.
funny though is that so one of my friends, one of my real life friends, um who became an admin with me, when the ranks transferred, he was demoted to guest. He was still opt. So he was
He was an op
guest.
guest. That's
It's even
awesome.
better than the op junior mod.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
unfortunately, Brian figured it out. I tried to hide it, but he got it. And my friend had fully lost his, all of his permissions.
So have you met any of the
But
other staff in real life?
nope, I have not. I mean, there are some staff that live near me, but I haven't actually met them.
You haven't gotten all stalker and
Yeah. So there used to be staff that I knew, but
yeah,
now they're not staff anymore. So
that's crazy. So you've never actually met Brian then in real life,
nope, I
and
have
yet you
not.
have all this
I know
power
what he
over this
looks like,
server.
but I
So
haven't actually met him.
yeah, well that's awesome. Well, cool. This has been great. Any other stories you want to share, or
uh
did you ever find out or figure out what it was that you liked most about being staff? Your favorite thing about being staff?
oh right. Hmm. I gotta think of something.
You got to think of
I
something.
will
It
think of
can't be
something.
all. It can't be that horrible. So
Hmm. You know what? I actually love making economies.
uh huh.
I hate it, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I made the economy for factions, Skygrid, prison. I think that's it.
I was really
Oh, and
disappointed.
Skyblock.
I was really
And
disappointed in the
I mean, I
factions
hate
economy.
making thousands of signs.
Uh huh.
It's a pain,
Right.
but I still enjoy doing it. It's fun to kind of see how things balance out.
Yeah.
And I think on factions I've done a decent job. I mean, there are people that complain, but there's always going to be people that complain about it.
Well, I'm going to complain about it because I couldn't really find too many holes in it. I was like, because I consider myself pretty good at
Yeah.
cracking an economy.
Yeah, I mean, this is the third
So
faction server, so I've kind of like learned. Like the first one had all types of awful things that were abused. The second one had a few things, and this one pretty pretty much is null of anything that's insanely OP.
Because I got on the
Speaking of
server.
factions market, if we don't put MCMO back, I'm definitely going to be revamping it, like increasing sell prices of stuff
Yeah.
because without double drops, it's going to be so much harder to make money. It's not really fair to leave it like that.
Without Tree Feller. Without Tree Feller, I'm lost.
Yeah, I don't really, I don't really know about that. Maybe I mean I'll increase wood sell price, but I'd have to make it like 10 times more to make it still worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
So when
yeah, but there'll
so
be other ways of making money.
I was expecting, to be
I
honest, I
mean, I'm
got on the
hoping
server. Oh,
we
go
can
ahead.
get MCMO back.
Yeah,
I'm
let's get
really
MCMMO
hoping
back.
that we can get a different version that doesn't lag. If not, we'll have to just, we'll have to
At
live
least
with
bring
it.
back acrobatics so that whenever I fall because I'm stupid, I can get a little ding and feel good about myself because that's the only way I get any self-esteem on this server. It's like,
Acrobatics. I think there's like some bug with like ladders, and everyone had like such high acrobatics or something.
oh, not me, but so I have to admit, when I first got on the server, I was like, oh, this will be easy. I'll just build a villager farm, and then I'll just do some trades, and I'll be able to just sell stuff. And then I was actually doing the math on all the different villager trades. I'm like, damn it, this economy's balanced. What the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I made quite a few economies, like three. Actually, I didn't make the first one faction server, but I've done two faction servers, Prison Skygrid, Skyblock, and I think there's another one. I can't remember.
Yeah, you did a good job. Darth figured out woodcutting. Now he's apparently abusing gunpowder with creeper spawners, but
Yeah, I
he's
mean, creeper spawners are
they're
expensive,
expensive. So
so
yeah, so he's
that
making
should be a good way to make money.
totally agree, totally agree. So cool. Well, any last words to the YouTube world out there? I mean, I'm sure lots of people are going to want to check out this video, seeing as you have such a high profile on a major server here.
Well, I highly encourage you to check out MNB. There's a lot of different modes. Like factions is not the only mode that we have. We have so many different game modes. I think we got like what 12 servers.
It's crazy. I have to
And
confess, I haven't visited all of them.
I will say though that we do have a new server being planned. Planned,
Oh.
not starting to work on it yet, but there will be a new server that comes out hopefully like before the summer or maybe like in the beginning of the summer.
Ooh. Any more hints? Any hints?
Um, it will be a PvP related server. I'll just say that.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, you guys heard it here first. So thanks so much for giving us some of your time, Modmass. This has been awesome. And for those of you watching this, I don't know. It sounds like we may never get Pendar to join us for one of these, but I'm still going to try. I'm not going to give up. I'm just not. I don't have it in me to give up. So we'll see if that happens. There's also some other folks in the staff that have said they would be interested in doing these. So we'll see if that happens in the next few days and weeks. So thanks so much. Appreciate your time, Modmaster.
Anytime.
All right. Bye bye.